Hey, what's up? I'm Casey and this is CaseyReacts. Today we're going to be looking at entitled parents. I feel like we all know an entitled parent or two. Entitled parents is a sub dedicated to those parents. You know, those people. The ones that think that they're owed everything in the world. This sub is people posting and telling their stories of encountering an entitled parent out in the wild. Alright, let's get right to it. Ruining your daughter's make-a-wish. This happened a long time ago. I was helping a girl who had terminal cancer with her final preparations and wishes. She had requested to go on a cruise with her family, and the Make-A-Wish program was happy to help her. She was really sweet, and we soon formed a friendship. The day she was about to formally request her wish, she looked really sad and didn't want to talk to anyone. I visited her and asked what's wrong, but she wouldn't tell me. It broke my heart to see her tearing up. Thankfully, after some time, she told me she didn't want a cruise. She hated it, and she wanted to meet her dream celebrity like she had seen other kids do. I told her, no problem. I'll speak so we can find the celebrity she wanted. But she said not to because her mother had screamed at her when she first said she wanted to meet the celebrity. Her mother told her to forget about her final wish and ask for a cruise for all the family, because that is something the entire family can go, and it's something the mother wanted since she was a child. I was speechless and furious. Even now, I don't understand why a mother would get in the way of her daughter's final wish. It took me a while, but I calmed her down and told her that it was her wish, not her mother's, and that I wanted her to be truly happy. She told me she always did what her mother asked, and the idea of doing something she wanted was foreign to her. But she smiled, the biggest smile I had ever seen on her, and hugged me, and said she would speak to her mother and get the celebrity she wanted. Sadly, I had to leave for the day, but I was happy I was able to convince her. What kind of a mother would actually try to guilt trip her daughter into picking a wish that the mother would want for a make-a-wish? That's honestly the most evil thing I think I've ever heard in my entire life. And I've heard Thanos' plan to help resources become abundant in the universe. Just snap his fingers and kill half the population. Couldn't he have also snapped his fingers and doubled everything? Doubled all the resources, doubled the size of everything? If he was really smart, he would have thought of that. Unfortunately, the talk with the mom did not go well, and she ended up requesting the cruise. Last time we spoke, she told me she tried, but she didn't want to make her family sad, but that she wished so hard to meet this celebrity instead. I told her she will meet him someday, and that she was an angel and to not worry that the cruise will be amazing and she'll be treated like a princess. We hugged, said goodbye, and she said that she was really happy to have met me and that I visit her when no one else would. Her mother had 2 other children and never went to visit her, and that she always looked forward to my visits because I didn't talk to her about cancer but I made her laugh. It was a very hard day. The point of the story is, if you're a parent reading this, please listen to your child. Do not take away from them their final wish. Make sure they're happy, because every second is precious. Edit. Sadly, the little angel has already passed away. I'm sure she's in a better place. Like the many other children, show us what true strength really is. She wanted to meet Robert Downey Jr. Her room was full of the Avengers vs. Princesses, or Captain Jack Sparrow. Wow, that had a very depressing ending. Yeah, hopefully these next few don't end horribly. Hopefully that little girl at least got to get an Avengers marathon while she was on her cruise. I work at an antique store. Don't let your child climb in the vase. Seriously, if they break it, you have to buy it. I'm very tired, so if anything doesn't make sense, I'm sorry. Lies, I'm not sorry, but I'm very tired. I'm also very tired. If my voice slurs and I forget to edit out, please don't judge. A child, maybe 7, got stuck in a very large, very expensive vase today. My boss was on the shop floor. He explained the policy about breakages to the parents of this kid. "But he's a child!" they squealed. My boss just shrugged and pointed to the policy poster. He pointed out the cameras that caught them lifting their child into this expensive vase. For funsies! The child began to panic. I came out of the back to a broken vase, and the parents threatening to sue. My boss threatened to call the police. So, the parents paid for the vase and took their uninjured child away, thankfully. Basically, don't put your kids in expensive vases. I feel like this should go without saying. Like, did they expect it to be filled with balls like a ball pit? Why would any parents put their child in a vase? Part of me thinks that this entire sub is just people making up stories just for karma. But at the same time, part of me also thinks, yeah, I know some really, really stupid people, and if they were ever to breed, that would probably reflect in their children. So, for all I know, this could be very real. I can't see people doing that, but I also tend to underestimate people's stupidity. Entitled parent demands password to my grades. On mobile. A little bit of a backstory. The story revolves around me, 17 female, and my mom, 36 female, who I will call EM. EM and my dad went their separate ways when I was very little. They weren't married, and I went to live with my grandparents on my dad's side. EM would sometimes spend a few days with us and then go to who knows where. Around 2 years ago, she left and didn't come back. I see her maybe once a month. In my country, we have a website that shows your grades, exams, and stuff like that. You have your email and a password. I never gave EM my password because she never asked for it, and I didn't think she needs to even see my grades. No one except me has my password. So, I was doing my homework, and I got a call from EM. That's rare, so I picked it up. This is approximately the conversation. EM: Hey OP, how you doing? Me: Good. What about you? EM: A little bit tired, but fine. Me: Good to hear. Do you need anything? EM: Well, I just wanted to know how you are and ask you to give me your password to your grades. Me: What? Why? EM: I lost the password I had, so can you give it to me again? Me: What are you talking about? Why do you have my password? EM: Well, you typed it in my phone once years ago and it stayed there. I changed my phone, so I need you to give it again. Me: No, you will not have my password. That's my personal information, and I don't feel comfortable by you looking at my grades and exams. EM: Oh, come on. It's just grades, and besides, I'm your mom. I have the right to see your grades. It's not that big of a deal. Me: It is. You can't look at my grades. It's my personal information, and I don't want you anywhere near it. And besides, you aren't really a good mom to begin with. Wow. Just throw that out of nowhere, even if it's true. Still, low blow. EM: Oh, are we going there now? Well, you shouldn't complain that much. After all, I lived the life you wanted to have. Me: A life I wanted? Are you nuts? I can't believe you would say that to a minor. Do you hear yourself? Are you crazy? EM: Why are you yelling? If it's about your grades. Me: This is not about my grades. That is about my personal information that you have no right to. You're a bad parent, and I am so ashamed to be related to you. I'm going to change the password and goodbye. I stopped the call, and then I changed the password right away. This type of conversation is not unusual for her, but she really made me mad. That's all. I just wanted to share my story. I'm really hoping this isn't fake. Whenever I read stories like this, I just really enjoy the satisfaction of someone standing up to a parent like that. Chances are it might be fake, but you never know. But you'll still send me a gift, right? This happened 4 years ago, but the memory lives on every graduation season. I'm no longer friends with the EM because of the entitled attitude was not a one-time thing. Okay, here's the story. EM was holding a graduation party for her son. The night before the party, a mutual friend, female, who does not drive, called to ask me what time I'd be picking her up for the party. This was the first I had heard of the party. Seeing that I was not invited, I refused to go out of my way to drive her to it. I thought that would be that, but oh no. 2 weeks later, I saw EM. She asked me why I would not drive F to the party and why I hadn't given her the consideration of calling to say that I couldn't attend in the first place. I explained that I had not been invited and was not going to drive an hour round trip to drop off a guest. I'm not a taxi service. EM then told me that I had been invited. She had sent out a group text to all invited, regrets only because she didn't want to be flooded with group text responses. She also told me that she told F that I would drive her. No, she never mentioned that plan to me. I told EM that I never received her text. I showed her my phone and everything, and she said, "Well, that's not my problem." When I asked to see the recipients of the text to make sure I was on it, she refused, saying, "I sent it to you. That should be enough for me to accept her claim." EM was upset with me because she had to swing by to pick up F on the way to the party and take her home, because F was the one paying for the party as a graduation gift to EM's son, and she needed to be there to pay the vendors. EM then had the audacity to ask me when her son should expect his gift from me, now that we've cleared up this confusion. I never did send a gift. You know, I've never really understood graduation parties. I don't know. If I actually wanted to see people after I graduated, I'd just invite them to hang out. I don't think I'd want a bunch of people in my house just to say, "Hey, congrats on graduating," whenever all of them graduated too. But I feel like I'm the minority here. Everybody loves them. And arguably they can be fun, but for me that just depends on whether or not it's going to a friend's open house for his graduation party. But like I said, that's just my opinion. My mom is entitled to a relationship with my daughter. When I was 15, my mom kicked me out to live with my dad. In turn, she excluded me from family events and vacations. She also remarried, and I have 3 step-siblings, which I do not have a relationship with. Fast forward to when I turned 23. My daughter was born, and my mom feels like I owe her a relationship with my daughter. She only invites me to come over, and when I do, step-siblings that I don't know come over as well, which always makes me pack up my child and leave. I'm not in the best place in my life, and she knows that. But instead of helping me to get to the place that I need to be, she judges me for the simple fact that I can't seem to keep things together. She makes plans with me, but often forgets to keep them, whether it's taking me out for a lunch or just going to get a haircut. She doesn't like taking me anywhere that we can both take a photo and make a memory. Only she's allowed to have the memory. My mom's love is absolutely conditional. If she doesn't have a relationship with me, then why does she deserve one as a grandma? Is it wrong that I want to cut out my immature mother? You know, I see a lot of stuff about grandparents' rights on Reddit very often, and I just don't get it. Personally, I think if the parents wanted nothing to do with you, then they should have nothing to do with your kid, because it's not their right to have that child with them. They have no legal guardianship over them unless you give it to them. Luckily, I'm not a parent, and I have 2 cats, so even if my parents treated me horrible enough for me to not want anything to do with them, they can't really sue for guardianship over my cats. Or, at the very least, I don't think they would. They're more dog people than cat people. Entitled mother demands extra free Krispy Kreme donuts, ends up having the police called. Hey everyone, so as you all know, Krispy Kreme is giving a free donut if you got your vaccination. EM is entitled mom. So today afternoon, I headed to Krispy Kreme. I wanted some donuts and some to bring home for the kiddos. So I drive to Krispy Kreme and go inside. I wait in line, and in front of me is an EM with 3 kids. Then it's the EM's turn, and she tells the Krispy Kreme employee, "Can I get 4 dozen donuts, please?" The employee says, "Yes, ma'am." A couple of minutes later, 4 dozen donuts pop up, and the EM goes to the register, and the employee tells the woman, "Your total is $24 to $30, ma'am. Please pay now." I don't know the exact price for sure. I might get the price wrong. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that price is wrong. I don't go to Krispy Kreme often, but I'm pretty sure 1 dozen is like $15. It's ridiculous. I always go to local donut stores just because the donuts are better and a lot cheaper. So then the EM goes in her bag. I'm thinking she's going to pay for it now. She pulls out 4 vaccination cards. She's brought hers and the 3 kids. The EM gives a smile and says, "Here you go." The employee says, "Sorry, ma'am, the vaccination cards for 4 dozen donuts doesn't work. We aren't allowed to do that. But we can give you your 4 donuts for your vaccination cards, though. Would you like that, ma'am?" The EM says, "I'd like 4 dozen donuts. We are all vaccinated, all 4 of us, so that means we get 4 dozen donuts." The employee says, "I'm so sorry, ma'am. We aren't allowed to do that. We can only offer you 1 donut per person when they show their vaccination card. But if you'd like, you can buy the 4 dozen donuts." The EM suddenly turns from a smile to an angry, rude face. The EM says, "How dare you deny me the donuts? I took the vaccine to protect all of you people. I did this for you. What do you think I got my kids vaccinated for? I served all of you. This is how you return my favor. Give me the donuts now." Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think vaccinating your kids for donuts is not the right reason to get vaccinated. You took the right path, you just kind of took it for the wrong reason. Also, I assume that she probably just had like a regular person voice, like regular woman voice, but I just like the deeper, angry, dramatic voice better. So, the EM gets extremely loud and rough, and then the employee calls the police. The police comes to the Krispy Kreme. The officer talks with the employees and the EM, and then the police took EM. So since they were taking long and all, the employees were still busy. I headed over to Dunkin'. But seriously though, EM sense of entitlement, like seriously, SMH. People like her just make my blood boil. No reason to treat someone else disrespectfully just because you don't get your way. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the most real sounding story on here. I mean, if anybody's ever worked in the service industry, doesn't even have to be food, just service in general. People are like this, like very, very, very more often than not. I don't know, maybe I just lived in a bad area, but yeah, you get a lot of people that are just horrible, horrible people. They seem to see service workers as subhuman. I mean, there was one point where I was a cashier, and I asked someone if they were over 50 for their senior citizens discount deal on that day. Dude started threatening me and berated me in front of the entire line in the entire store, just because I asked if a bald man with a gray beard was over 55 for a 10% discount. Yeah, he did not like me asking that question. Brought other people into the argument, saying, "Well, would you ask them too?" And I'm like, Sir, I'm just doing my job. I don't know why, but people just seem to flip out whenever someone's in the service industry and they just think, hey, yeah, I could ruin this guy's day. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, guy went as far as to threaten to jump me in the parking lot. So, whoever that guy is, I really hope that he has food poisoning. Just exploding out of both ends. That's my little revenge fantasy. Just giving him something that's just a little bit off. Something that tastes good enough, but it's going to tear him out later. Alright, and on that note, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to come back throughout the week for more content. Please like and subscribe to help keep this channel going, and as always, please have a great week.